All right, what is it that makes a Land Cruiser 80 series so darn sexy? So that's what we try to uncover in this video. This one right here is going to a new home in Texas. So I got it all polished and done, admiring it. I have three, so it's three too many. One's going, and it's this one, the emerald green. But what makes these trucks so iconic, so beautiful, that it's got such a big following? As you know, the prices are going up on these. They don't make them like this anymore. Price adjusted to inflation. This is probably would have cost $120,000 today to make, and no technology. This is all mechanical technology, not Bluetooth this, which you can get a double din, of course, but doesn't have like lane departure, doesn't have all this tech. This is just bare bones, hardcore, solid axle, body on frame, just amazing trucks. But that aside, what is about the design that makes them so nice? And I think I'm going to debunk that now on why an 80 series is so beautiful. So first off, before you do aftermarket stuff, I think it's the triple step down. So by that, I mean you have this curve and then this body curve going along the vehicle and then the fender flare. So it's 3 steps down and then your wheel. Now, I think in this case, where I have spacers on, so you get the first step, the second step on this Moonglow Pearl, the fender flare, and then the tire coming out just a bit. So that's why these tires can come out, because it's kind of like the final step coming down on that body design. Look at that. So it just makes it look muscular, makes it look sexy. And to me, when the wheels, so these are stock wheels, but this has the Spider Tracks, is the only way to go, folks. The Spider Tracks spacer. So it gives it an inch, and it's either 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches, but it's just enough to make it flush with that fender flare. So that's when you have originals. On this, these are aftermarket Fuel Zephyrs. So just a sexy wheel in itself, as you can see. But the offset on that did not require spacers. So as you can see here, that beautiful step down. So up top, step down 1, step down 2, which is the fender flare, and then the wheel coming out just ever so slightly all the way to the back. So that's number 1 on my reasons of why these are so sexy. So what would be number 2? So number 2 is, even from the back, just so nice. So going above those lines, I say number 2 would be the window in the back, usually split. In this case, it's not split. Or just get the sun out of our way. But that whole, I guess it's very proportionate, right? From that rear window, passenger, and driver. Little subtle nuances that we don't realize when they design, and it's for symmetry or proportionate. On the American model, or the FZJs, where they had the 3rd row, they have the ventilation where you can open up the window. So just so clean. This is all Land Cruisers, well, all the SUV style have that in their design, except for the 200 series, but the 100 and even the 60 series has that. But I think that is number 2. And then just the hood, that curved look. Because remember, what did Land Cruiser do? They came away from that square body, right? That square body look. And you can see the back window. Let's get a closer look, actually. Something I want to show you. As I was mentioning, so they have this ventilation in the back, same thing on the 60 series, that same window. So they kept the same look, but even though a 60 series, very square, and you can see that window style that they did, just looks so different, because going from that square look to the more rounded off muscular look. So on this one here, I think the 3rd thing that makes it visually so appeasing is the nice Oem Concave Wheels. Those wheels started in the 93 and up, so 91, 92 kind of got those Forerunner style like 4-star wheels with like a little split. Then they went to these. Amazing. Super light, great for off-road. These ones I've refinished, as you can see. So that's another thing that just makes them so nice. Going back to spacers, so this has OEM wheels, no spacers. So the wheel sits in, as you can see. I have to pan out before we see that. So to me, I prefer spacers. I just never got around to putting spacers on this rig. But again, this one has spacers with 35s on it, and you can see how it just looks right. Yeah, I think that just gives it a nice look. So it's all these little things that make us look at these and say, like, why does that look so cool? Now, I think another cool factor is when you start to go aftermarket and give it a lift. So when you see a super clean Land Cruiser, they're always going to look beautiful, but an old beat up, not maintained starts to look dated. Well, if it's clean and you give it at least a 2-inch lift, which Old Man Emu's been pretty much the most popular until some other guys got into the market. So you have the Icon, this one here, the Moonglow Pearl to our left, has the Icon Stage 3. And that, just to give it a closer look, with adjustable reservoir and dual rate shocks, gives it such a plush, phenomenal ride, better than a brand new car. And then this one here has king shocks and also that Icon dual rate, because I feel their springs for a 3-inch lift is perfect. Also gives it a plush ride. I have a video where I compare the two of those. And then this one went up higher, so went with Dobinson. So this is like a 5 to 6-inch lift. So there's your Dobinson with Dobinson shocks. So that, it just makes this a total beast. This one is just huge. So to me, another factor of what makes 80 series Land Cruisers so iconic, so beautiful and eye-catching is it's that crisscross between new style and old school. It's like right in the middle. Actually, they say this is like the best of Land Cruisers because it was right when Toyota was taking luxury into account, making their trucks. So they made this more luxurious, coilovers going from leaf springs, of course, and, you know, creature comforts inside with their leather and, you know, wood trim, that sort of thing. But also it's the solid axles, it's that old school function and durability and reliability and ruggedness. So when you start to go aftermarket, that's where, look at these 3 trucks. They're all 80 series, right? 95, 96, and 97. So the Moonglow Pearl's 95, 96 is that diesel, and 97 is this emerald green one right here. So all had the same bodies, well, except for the HDJ, that Japanese one had some differences to it. But look how you can change them up. You know, different roof racks. There's so many suppliers. So we have 3 different bars here, and there's 10 at least. So that's a American Overland Expedition out of Lake Forest. That's a Joust out of Japan, which is not the full bumper. It's just more of a brush guard, but still a cool look. This is an Ironman, you know, and we also have ARB. I've had an ARB before. There's Delta, there's Slee, there's a list go on and on. Victory. So there's so many aftermarket guys to give the truck a total different look, right? And then headlights. Angel eyes on this one. This has the awesome quads. So quad lights, kind of taken from the FJ62, which, you know, this was the next in the line of Land Cruisers. So it's got the quads. You see that a lot in Australia. So that gives it a really cool look. And those here are standard, but this is on a Japanese JDM. So there's a built-in, I don't know if you see that yellow reflection in there, but there's a yellow fog, and just so cool. And you can have your turn signals clear, tinted, or the traditional orange. So many different things. The JDM also has that little mirror on the side. And then there's what you can do to the back of these. So sliders, of course. So there's some cool aftermarket sliders. And in the US, we got black running boards. In Japan, they have aluminum, which are beautiful. They polish up so nice and have just a really great look. So on the back here, we have slee. So that's a slee rear bumper. This is the original one. So just like the front bumpers, the rears, there's just so many to choose from. You got slee, again, Delta, 4x4 Labs. I forgot that for the front bumper too. Just the list, Delta has a cool one. So the list goes on and on. So just other looks that you can give your Land Cruiser and personalize it. So just so many options, so many ways to go. Jerry can holders, you know, however you want to have it. I'm obviously a fan of the slee because you don't have to cut your cross member. Just something sounds wrong with cutting your cross member, right? There we go, that one handle versus the old way of doing it. You'd have to undo both. I have a video comparing the two that I'll put in the description if you want to check out the differences. So solid axle, the flex you can get on these, just amazing. They drive great. When you go 95 and newer, the FZJs are 212 horsepower. 9192s has that carryover engine from the FJ62, which is, you know, 150 horsepower, not a lot. So you know, that's why when you see a great deal on a 9192, there's a reason. You're not gonna like that engine going uphill. These ones, plenty of power. And then just for the OEM bumper, even original bumper, if you don't go an aftermarket bumper, I think the bumpers are beautiful as well. Super clean. On this one, I put Plasti Dip. This is usually here is aluminum, so I put Plasti Dip on, not Plasti Dip, correction, vinyl. I put a satin vinyl on there, and that has the original roof rack. I think the new owner plans to put a Prinsu. Just right down to the mud flaps, just so cool. And this one has heavy duty sliders. Again, on the sliders, at least a dozen companies to choose from, at least. And I'm saying like what's accessible here in the US. When you start going to Venezuela, Colombia, they have other suppliers as well. I mean, there were what, almost, well, 550,000 of these made, 80 series. So there's lots out there in the world. So that's enough that they're first of all durable. Now being 25 plus years old, they're durable, they last, people love them. So unless they got rusted out or got into a major accident, there's tons of these still on the road because they're built to last. The FZJ is going to go 600,000 miles. A diesel could go 1,000,000 miles. And when they say 600,000, that's before the first major engine overhaul. So you can get more life out of them. Yep. So, am I right or am I right? They're just so darn sexy. If you agree, like the video. Let's see if this video can get some traction with other Land Cruiser owners or soon-to-be owners when you're in the market. I have lots of videos comparing different types of Land Cruisers to see what's right for you, like a 60 versus an 80, or an 80 versus a 100, or a 100 versus a 200, and so on. Even these two, diesel versus gas, if you can get your hands on a diesel one in the US market. But beautiful trucks, iconic, just that tear down waterfall effect on the side, just so nice. Just all the little things that make these so attractive. And in today's world where SUVs kind of blend in, they all start, you know, the midsize, they all start looking alike. They look the same. There's no mistaking an 80 series Land Cruiser. You can see it from afar, you see its silhouette, and you know instantly exactly what vehicle that is. All right, so if you want to comment, I do reply, so add your comment. Check my description for other Land Cruiser videos, and I'll keep them coming. But if you have one, well, I'm sure you're not going to let go of it. You probably love it. And if you don't have one, well, get them before prices go too crazy and you will not regret it. It's a vehicle that is more than just your daily or your weekend. It's something you become attached to. That they're just beautiful trucks. It's pride of ownership. All right, happy trails. Thanks for watching.